going on there? Guys, we back with another one, and today we got to talk some hoops. Now, we got to talk about Paul Pierce and Dwyane Wade, and we finally got Dwyane Wade's response on the Dan Le Batard show, responding to some of the comments Paul Pierce has been making in regards to Wade over the last few years. Now, Paul Pierce feels like he's a better all-timer. We saw what Jalen Rose had to say. We seen what he had to say recently on the Cameron and Mace podcast, and I believe he said something with Rachel Nichols recently too about him being better than Dwyane Wade. Now let's go through a few of these arguments right quick before I play these clips. You have some people saying that Paul Pierce and the Celtics, nobody celebrates one championship from a big three more than those three guys, and well, really two, him and KG, because you don't really hear Ray say nothing about it. He got another one with the Miami Heat, which kind of ostracized him from that group. But they say that that Celtics group act like they were like that, and they only have one championship to show with such a star-studded cast. As far as Dwyane Wade, you have those that say, man, he had Antoine Walker, he had Shaq, he had Alonzo Mourning, he had this, Gary Payton, he had this player, that player, right? And Dwyane Wade was exceptional in that playoff run that he had where he won before LeBron got there. I think people, when they say he had Shaq was a lot better the first year that he got there, but that second year where they actually won the title, I feel like people were still going off names then. Shaq didn't have the greatest, playoff run at that time. But he was still a presence on the inside, no doubt about it. But he didn't have, quote unquote, Shaq that Kobe had by that point. Alonzo Mourning had the kidney transplant by then, but he still was a phenomenal shot blocker. And some people right. Sometimes the team feared Alonzo Mourning's presence because he was contesting everything at the rim at that time. But he wasn't Charlotte Alonzo Mourning or, the earlier Miami Alonzo Mourning that people thought he still was. Gary Payton, he had already went to the Lakers and came, to Miami. So he was not the Seattle Supersonics, Gary Payton. Jay Williams, White Chocolate, he was out of his prime. He still was able to do some things, but he was a smarter basketball player at that point. Antoine Walker was a mismatch nightmare, but he wasn't Boston Antoine Walker at that point. So I just say a lot of that to say people were going by the names of the players that Wade had as he had this star-studded cast. What I will say about those players, they had went through the superstardom part of their careers, a lot of them, and they had a higher IQ at that point in their careers. Peyton had one pretty much his whole career, but like Jay Williams and his risky plays, they were minimalized at that point. He wasn't even trying the white chocolate stuff no more. Antoine Walker was playing smarter, more efficient basketball, and you had Alonzo Mourning and Shaq. The fact that they could coexist show you how far they had come and different things they had been through in their career and how high IQ players they were. So I just wanted to kind of dig in. I know I was talking at length, but I wanted to talk about a few arguments against both players. But let's check out what was said. Let's peep it.
It's my turn. Don't backtrack. He's made all NBA first team twice. Paul hasn't done it. He made all NBA 8 times to your 4. Ooh. He's made all defensive team 3 times to your 0.
Ooh, 0. That's rough.
He's won 1 scoring title. You weren't able to win the scoring title.
That's too bad.
He has 3 rings. You have 1 ring.
Ooh, 3 is bigger than 1. What are we doing?
He's just the hype man over there, huh? Just the hype man.
But there was one season that I would have went with Wade, but that was probably before. That's before
LeBron.
KG and them. Yeah.
The KG. All right, whatever. All right, so now
down the stretch, pause. I'm giving you the ball.
All right, so now put Shaq on my team. Put LeBron and Bosh with me. I'm not gonna win one. You don't think?
Ooh.
Yeah. You got your shit on.
You put me, LeBron, and
Isaiah Thomas said.
Me, LeBron, and Bosh. We not gonna win one.
Yeah.
Are we not gonna win a couple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
That's
though.
true. That's true.
So I'm saying though, like who's the better 3-point shooter?
Yeah.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
Like, is he a better scorer? Is he a better scorer? Okay, he averaged more points than me career. I can shoot the three.
He's
I
a
got the
better
mid-range,
slasher.
I can post up. I can get to the line. Who a better scorer?
See, you know what it is, and I'm totally.
Yeah, it's just he was fancier.
Yeah,
it was just
that's
he was
all I'm
fancier.
saying.
No, what I'm going to say
Let's
is
break it down.
no. Well, I'm about to give you your props, but because
serious.
what happened is this.
This is a good topic.
100% good topic because
Wade was better two-way though.
what happened.
Paul, nearly 4 times as many threes as Dwyane Wade.
Jesus.
Shot a higher percentage. Okay, there's one. Dwyane Wade's got the slight edge in win percentage. He's won 58% of his games. You've won 56. And on shots to take the lead in the final 10 seconds of the game, my personal favorite, you went 15 of 69, and Wade has gone 15 of 69, including tonight's. Wow.
I mean,
You were obviously the pre-digital era, and I think that
absolutely. That's where I do suffer. People only remember my big three era.
Right.
People forget early 2000s, my matchups with the New Jersey Nets, Jason Kidd, Allen Iverson in Game 5, the closeout series, 45 in the closeout game, Indiana series, 28 in the second half. I mean, I have a lot of people don't see.
you have some highs, a lot of highs.
A lot of stuff. Now, the people didn't get a chance to see this before Twitter and Instagram, so that's why I say go to YouTube.
You were talking earlier about what you've learned. I've learned that Paul Pierce is a jackass, and I'm wondering, have you ever wanted to just tell Paul to shut the f up?
Very subtle, very subtle.
Well, listen, rent is expensive in America, and I'm living rent-free right now, so let them keep going. I like living rent-free. This is why I love you guys. This is why I love the media, this part right here. It's documented. I don't need to say anything. Everything is documented. So I'll let you guys go ahead and talk about all that stuff. It sounds better coming from y'all than me. I'm done playing a game of basketball. I'm not comparing myself to someone who's not playing the game or who's playing the game.
So yeah, man, I just wanted to get those clips to give y'all a better view of some of the things that was said. And I think when it comes to Wade and the big three and that whole era, you start to see a lot more teams doing it now, and it's very unpopular in today's game. But you have to remember the way the NBA was structured back in the day. That's why the Boston Celtics could draft Larry Bird, and he could still go back to college, play another year, and then come to the Celtics. You know, there was no draft lottery when Magic came out. It was about who had the most bread. So honestly, teams was getting stacked back then too. If we just being 100% real with it, we just don't like the way that it goes about, and it's aesthetically more pleasing to see them drafted to a team, stay with the team in their prime, and watch it that way, even if they come in as rookies. And I guess the argument against that is you like a rookie coming in, he's not already like the face of the league. Yeah, he kind of might be looked at to potentially be that, but he still has something to prove. Whereas when you have someone like LeBron, who's proven top of the game, goes to Miami with another top of the game player, and you want to see them meet in the playoffs and figure it out against each other, that's not as aesthetically pleasing to watch for people from my generation. But I'm real. I know that it happened back in the day. Teams were stacked. You know, and they were stacked, you know, from the rookie year. You got Worthy, Magic, you know, Kareem. Even though Kareem was getting a little older, you got them three on a team together. So that's a lot. And then you got those Celtics. I mean, Mikal Bird, same team. You got Mikal coming off the freaking bench. Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson. You got a whole squad. And, you know, they was going to be stacked again, honestly, when Bird was getting older. But this was by the time the lottery came. But if they would have had, like, Liam Bias and Reggie Lewis would have never died. If it would have just worked out like that, because who's to say if they got Liam Bias, they would have been in a position to get Reggie Lewis. But if those three would have been together in Bird's older years, that would have been special to watch. But back to the point at hand, man, Paul Pierce being better than Dwyane Wade, I personally don't think so because of the other side of the basketball. I do acknowledge that Paul Pierce mid-range game is all-time special. I don't remember him getting to that foul line and missing in clutch moments. I know it's happened, but it's not a thing that you expect to happen when he gets to that spot on the floor. You expect him to make his shot and, do his thing like that. You got Dwyane Wade. It felt like he was going to get to the rim, get fouled at the end of the game. It felt like he was so athletic that in his prime, it was going to be nearly impossible to stop him because they called him Flash for a reason. You may think you're rotating on time, but his first step was like something that we hadn't seen since Michael Jordan as far as the ground that was covered with his initial burst. And I feel like D. Wade is a better player than Pierce, and that's that one championship with the older Shaq, the older Antoine Walker, the older Peyton, that kind of sticks out above the other championships that the Heat won or that Paul Pierce won with KG, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo, Kendrick Perkins, and those guys. So that's what I would say. But Paul Pierce, most of these players feel like they're better than their peers, or some of them feel slighted. You got Steven Jackson feeling like he's better than Ray Allen, which I definitely couldn't agree with that. But if they were to play like one-on-one or they were to play in a certain setting, you could see where Steven Jackson could get the best of them. And a lot of these guys feel that way. And that's how they got to that level. They didn't get to that level thinking, oh, man, I can see this guy's better than me. No. If they feel like a certain player has an advantage, this is how their scouting reports work. If they feel like, okay, you don't want LeBron to get out in transition or the game's over if he sees the ball go through the basket that way, you want to take that away from him. And that's how they look at their game plan. So you don't look at it going into the game like, oh, man, he better than me. No, you look at it from a game plan perspective and, your strengths being highlighted and taking away what they like to do. And so that's why a lot of them don't give props, especially shortly after their careers or during their careers. And you're starting to see Paul Pierce give LeBron a little more praise now because he's getting out of that a little bit. But he feels like Wade is one that he's better than. But you look at Wade blocks and steals and some of that other stuff you do on the basketball floor, I don't think Paul Pierce compares in that way. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, man. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.